Hey, you're listening to Recess. Today on the show, we have Claudia Tan with us. She's a Malaysian author and singer-songwriter whose book series has been picked up by Hollywood. Hey, my name is Kessyl.
And I'm SueLyn. Totally excited for today. Hi, Claudia. Welcome to the show. How are you today?
Hi, I'm good. I'm so excited to be here.
We are super excited to start talking to you. So let's jump right in. Your novel series, Perfect Addiction, has over 81 million views and is now set to be a film by Wattpad Studios and Constantine Films. What should people know about this movie?
So it's an action romance movie that's about an MMA trainer. Her name is Kiana, who finds out that her boyfriend has been cheating on her with her sister. So she sort of sets up to get revenge on him by training his arch nemesis in this underground MMA tournament to beat him. So yeah, it revolves around two people who are trying to confront their inner demons and come together. Yeah.
Amazing.
As a Malaysian writing a series of books that's going to be filmed by Hollywood, for me personally, I think that's a very big deal. Can you kind of tell us how did this deal happen? How did it come about?
So it came about because I've been writing on Wattpad for a really long time already, and I got invited to be part of this program called the Wattpad Stars program. So it's a selected group of writers that sort of you get a lot of these projects from Wattpad and stuff, and they help you find opportunities for you, be it publishing or movie stuff. So I just kind of shoot my shot and was you know what, let me see if I can pitch it to them if they're interested in doing a movie for it. And I wrote a whole pitch, and then I sent it to them thinking nothing was gonna come out of it, and then it just started the ball just went rolling from there. So it was quite crazy, yeah.
And how does that make you feel? Honestly, you're excited, you're oh my goodness, I can't believe this is happening to me.
Yeah, I mean, it feels really surreal, knowing that it's gonna get made, because the thing with entertainment and stuff like that, it takes a really long time for a movie to get made. I think with After, which is also a Wattpad based movie, that became a franchise as well. The first movie took 5 years to get made. So I really didn't have I didn't want to try to have my hopes up that everything was gonna go really fast paced. But it's been really promising so far, because director has been attached to it. There is a main cast already, so things seem very promising, and yeah, I'm really excited to see where it goes.
We are also very excited for you. All right, so you mentioned that you started writing quite young. What got you into writing in the first place?
I started writing because I was reading a lot. I feel that's the most straightforward answer. But when I was in high school, right? The kind of young adult book craze started happening. Everybody was reading because it was sort of cool also at the same time. So I was such a book nerd back then, and I was reading all this YA books, Hunger Games, all that kind of stuff. But then I started getting into romance because I really, really liked reading that genre. And then I was I'm just gonna try my hand at writing and see where it takes me. Yeah.
Wait, that was one of the crazes we had a lot back then. Reading was probably the most beneficial trend in that time.
Yeah.
So you've created a lot of art in your teenage to your adult years, and these are the years when people evolve a lot. I don't remember who I was 3 years ago. So when you look back at the work you've created, Perfect Addiction or your music from that time, can you still relate to it? How do you feel about your past work?
I think I can relate to it in some ways still. I think the characters in those books deal with a lot of struggles that I also struggle with, parental issues, harboring resentment and forgiveness, getting out of a toxic relationship. All of these are pretty relatable to me, hopefully to other people as well. I think I can still relate to it in some ways, but I think With romance in particular, when I was like writing, I literally like didn't even like have a boyfriend at that time. I didn't even experience like what love really was. So like I think in some ways it could be very cheesy, like some of the scenes, which I can't relate to anymore. But like I think it's nice to sort of like go back and like see and like read all those scenes. Like wow, like I was so innocent back then.
Is there any part where you cringe when you look back at your old stuff?
Oh yeah, for sure. I always have secondhand embarrassment when I go back and read like all those old drafts, you know.
It's okay. It's on Hollywood now. If it's good enough for Hollywood, it's good enough for our movies.
Yeah, I hope they change a lot of the things.
Okay, let's move on to another part of your art. Other than writing a hit series, you also are a singer-songwriter. So your song Bodies has been played on Hits FM, and many have praised it for sounding very internationally made. So what's your proudest part of the song?
My proudest part of this song, I think I'm just proud of the whole song in general. I love that people think it's catchy and like they think it's well made, and I think a lot of it has to do with like the production, which was done by my boyfriend. Like I work like with him for all of my music, so we're sort of like learning together, like to do music, to produce music. So like the fact that like I mean it's a really really like nice compliment for people to say that like that it's well made, and like yeah, like I think like a lot of it has to do with like his production and like, you know, his engineering skills.
I mean, right now you are such a creative. What is your inspiration behind your books and your music? Do you have someone that you look up to in the industry?
With music, I think like I do have like some inspirations, like musical inspirations, of course, like Dua Lipa, Ariana Grande, Oliver Rodrigo. Like I really admire like the songwriting aspects of their music. Like they really try to bring in something fresh and like innovative, which is what I've always like wanted to do with my music. I think like the whole point of like my music is to sort of like make it as relatable and catchy as possible, because I want to get the message stuck in your head. So yeah.
Okay, so we have covered your art, your music, your book, and let's talk about the fact that you are, after all, a young Malaysian. What advice do you have for young Malaysians who want to break into the art scene?
I think like just start, really. I think I wouldn't really be where I am today like if 16-year-old me wasn't like impulsively writing so much while trying to balance like school and social life like last time. So like the hard work really really pays off when you put your mind and soul to it and just like start. Like it's crazy how like I was able to do that like from young. So like, and now I get to reap the rewards. So I think especially with the rise of social media, it's way more easier to get into doing art and like being creative. So I think, yeah, like I would just say like just start. Like don't think about it too much and just like do it, you know?
Thank you so much, Claudia, for coming on the show and just sharing your story with us. I'm sure that this is going to inspire many Malaysians, especially young Malaysians who's following or thinking about following in your footsteps.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.